Welcome to Unleash Your Greatness. I am Adam Platt. Today we're going to be talking about the tethers that keep us from going after the goals and dreams and the life that we want. And so we're going to get into that discussion right after the introduction. Today, we're talking about the tethers, or the limiting beliefs, the things that stop us from going forward in our life. And the reason why I brought this up is there was this really interesting situation that happened a little while ago, and it made me really think about this and how often this happens to us. So we have a little dog. It's a little schnauzer. He's a little white schnauzer. We love him. We've had him for 10 years, and his name is Max. We love him to death. But our backyard is not fenced in. So behind us is a big, huge field. It's a farmer's field, and we love it, the openness. Some of our other next door neighbors who have young kids don't have a fence either. And so we love the openness. And so we've never put a fence up. But because of that, we can't just let Max out to just go run around the yard, right? Because he'll run away or get injured or who knows what. We can't just let him out and let him run around. And so we have this 20-foot leash that we put on, and we hook it, and we let him out to go to the bathroom. And full disclosure, I do take him on a walk every single day so that he gets exercise. And so it's not like he just is outside on this leash all the time. He just goes out to go potty. He's more than happy to stay inside most of the time. He's getting older, so he lays in his bed a lot. But I do take him for a walk every day. But what's really interesting is this 20-foot leash that he goes outside to go to the bathroom in the backyard with, it only lets him go so far out into the yard. And this one day I decided, my daughter was out there. And so I'm like, I'm just going to let him out and just, I put the leash on just in case so that I didn't connect it to anything, but I let him out because I'm like, my daughter was out there. She was reading, and I'm like, hey, just watch Max. Here, his leash is here in case he starts wandering too far. You can grab the leash and bring him back. But he basically would have free reign of the backyard. So I let him out. And sure enough, as I watched him, it was really interesting. He went out, and he knows the parameters that he can go to. And even though he could go past that parameter because his leash wasn't connected to anything, he didn't go past it. He's been trained or, accustomed to not go past those areas of the yard because he normally can. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, how often do we do that to ourselves in life? How often do we stop ourselves from moving past a certain point in our life because it's just how it's always been? It's because there's this almost imaginary tether stopping us from going past that point in our life. And I see it all the time with people I coach, people I come in contact with. Even in my own life, I've seen it. There's times where I've held back because there's something stopping me. There's some invisible tether that I'm like, I don't know if I can get past this. There's something holding me back, right? There's some leash stopping me. And I think that so many people let these things, these invisible leashes or tethers, stop and hold them back in life. And so today I want to share just 3 quick, simple things to help get past that. These things are simple. They're going to sound like, well, duh, Adam. But how often are you letting those tethers stop you? And sometimes those things are things that have happened in our past, right? Something our parents have said, or a teacher has said, a loved one, a spouse, whatever it is. And we're like, yeah. And we've taken that into our mind, and that's our perception, right? Our belief, our perception creates our reality. And so we're like, I can't do that. So the first thing I want to tell you is stop living in the past. So often we live in the past, and we let these things that happened in the past stop us from really going after those goals, those dreams, that next level in our life. And we use excuses all the time, like, well, I can't do that. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy or worth enough to go after that. I'm not rich enough. I'm not good looking enough. All these things, right? Because somebody said something or something happened or we were bullied or all these things. We got to stop living there. It's happened. We got to get past it. We've got to move past it. We've got to stop and we've got to tell ourselves, a great way to do that is use affirmations. Because what happens is as we tell ourselves things and we speak it, then eventually our subconscious will start believing it. And we can reprogram how we feel about ourselves, things that have happened in the past, and we can come to greater terms with those things. And then we can unleash that greatness or unleash that tether that's holding us back and go past that. So stop living in the past. Work through that. You've got to work through that. Affirmations are a great way to do that. Journaling is a great way to do that. Getting a coach, a mentor, someone who can help you work through that. Maybe it's therapy. Maybe it's some deep trauma that you've gone through and you need to get some therapy. Get a counselor, somebody who can help you work through that. Do it. Do it. It's so worth it. So stop living in the past. Stop letting those things, stop letting that tether, that leash stop you from moving forward in your life. The next thing is stop letting other people tell you what you can and can't accomplish. So oftentimes we put things out there and people are like, well, that's a dumb idea. I'm going to write this book. Why? You're not an author. You're never going to be able to write a book. Or we perceive that people around us see us or think about us in a certain way. I've had this happen in my life. There's people that I thought in my neighborhood would think of me weird if I said something or did something or put a goal out there or a dream that I wanted. And so many times, or a family member, right? Like sometimes family members are like, well, you're not that type of person. You don't have that knowledge. You don't have that expertise. You can't do that. You don't have the skill set to accomplish that. And so we let other people tell us what we can accomplish. We've got to stop listening to the naysayers. If we feel deep in our heart that we want that, we want to go after it, we want to accomplish it, then do it. We can do it. We can accomplish it. If you have this gut, this intuition that you're meant for something more, and I'm here to tell you, you are. You're here for greater things. You're here. That's what this show is all about, unleashing your greatness. And so I'm here to tell you, don't let other people limit you and stop you and put that tether, that leash on you to stop you from going past that point where you know you should be going and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and growing and becoming a better version of yourself. Don't let other people stop you from doing that. Go after it and accomplish it. And the last thing I want you to take away from this quick episode, that I hope this is serving you, but the last thing is to take a leap with faith. So I was on a call the other day. It was a Zoom chat, and we had Sharon Lecter come on. She's an amazing woman. She's a top New York best-selling author. She's written things like 3 Feet from Gold. She's written, she worked with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, with I can't remember his name right now. I'm drawing a blank, but anyways, she worked on that project. She's worked with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. She was given the manuscript of Outwitting the Devil by the family of Napoleon Hill and said, we want to have you turn this into a book. And so she did. She turned that into a book. So she's an amazing woman, but she was on this call and she shared this great insight. She said, lots of people will say, take a leap of faith. She's like, I don't love that statement. She said, I change one word and it's take a leap with faith. And so I'm here to tell you, take that leap with faith. And what does that mean? She explained it. She said, that means that you go into the future, looking to your goals or your dreams with confidence and faith together, knowing and having a positive outlook that things are going to turn out the way they're supposed to. And I love that. It was beautiful. And so many times we're afraid to take that leap with faith. We're afraid to put that faith in ourselves because we have doubt, we have self-doubt, we have fear, we have uncertainty of what's going to happen. And if we just are willing to take that leap with faith, not of faith means that you're just like throwing it out there and hoping that something works and that the universe is going to produce something for you. If you take it with faith though, and you take action, you have confidence and you take action towards that goal, that dream, that life that you want, everything changes. So that's my third thing for you, is take the leap with faith. Go with confidence and knowing that things are going to turn out the way they're supposed to. I love that thought. So this is just a quick episode. I hope that you get some value from this. I love the analogy of my dog and his leash and his tether that stopped him. And eventually, and here's the coolest part about that story, eventually he took one step past that point that he usually couldn't go. And he's like, oh, and he took another step and another step. Eventually he's like, oh, I'm not tied up. And he started going around, and he wandered the yard, and he explored, and he sniffed. He loves the smell and everything. And we watched him, my daughter and I, we watched him make sure he didn't go out where he wasn't supposed to or run away or anything like that. And he's really pretty good for the most part. There are times where we have to track him down, but it was really interesting. So take that step. Take that step with faith. Because when you take that step, you realize, oh, I'm not bound by the things that are holding me back. The things that I thought were holding me aren't holding me back anymore. And you can take another step and another step and another step. And before too long, your world opens up and you can explore and you can be more of the person you're meant to be. So I hope that you enjoy this. I hope that you got some value out of this. Go out there and unleash your greatness today. Go live the life you're meant to live, and we will see you in future episodes.